Another wasted afternoon, spending on my own with the TV and the phone. Another wasted part of life that I will not remember when I'm dead and gone. Another wasted afternoon, spending on my own with the TV and the phone. Hello. Am I aware of that? It's wasted time. Am I convinced of what I do? Why don't we agree? Staring irony. Something's never changed, though. It's up to us now. We gotta rearrange another our affairs. Decide what we are attaching patterns to general life.
This is the motor for the window flaps. It'll close these blinds here. But we had to move it to put in the fan, and it doesn't really fit back. We have a problem with those wires getting in the way. But we'll figure it out, because we always do. Check this out. So we have these new rack right here. This, of course, we had to get registered with the DMV to change the height of the car, which is kind of an annoying thing that you have to do in Taiwan. America, by comparison, is much, much more liberal when it comes to changing your car. Check out what this guy says at the end of this video as an example.
Hey guys, it's Dustin from RealTruck.com. We're here at SEMA 2016, standing next to Bill and his monstrosity of a build behind us.
We have a full tube chassis. We're running 54-inch Baja claws with 2.5-ton military axles. Right now we're standing under the truck and we're at 6 foot. We can go up an additional 10 inches, but this is how I roll. This is how it is to drive it down the interstate. This is a street legal truck.
Bev has cut this right out of the roof. Very wonderful job there. And installed this fan. This fan has been working beautifully. And everybody told us not to do it. Everybody says it's going to leak. So we are here to prove them wrong. But I think it's going to be easy. There's no way that this silicone ceiling is going to leak. We are going to be fine. When it rains, this will automatically close. It has a rain sensor that can close it if it detects any rain. And also, if the car gets over 50 degrees, it will automatically open and vent it and close again if the car goes below 45 degrees. This is my new fancy solid gold engine block. The gold foil here is anti-vibration padding, and then over this we'll put some insulation and also sound dampening insulation. so that it'll just be nicer to be up here in the front, and when we record it won't be as noisy. As you can probably tell from this video now, when there's a lot of noise in the background, it's quite unpleasant. So that's something that I hope this will help avoid. All the wires, we're putting in a conduit, and then we're using rubber to shrink around the joints to keep everything sealed nice and tight. Hey everybody, welcome back to our van build. We have made a lot of progress so far. It has been great. I want to apologize for the audio quality here. We're in an industrial area and it's really noisy. So I apologize if at times there's very loud noises that suddenly happen in the background. I have no idea what they're doing over there, but it is loud. Here at the bottom, we put in a heat insulation layer, and then this is a sound insulation layer. And the gold on the wheel hubs, that was a vibration insulation layer. We ran conduit and wiring through all of the walls and the roof here. So we have our heavy duty 12 volt cables for our pump, and we're gonna have the refrigerator over here on this side. And this is the shower head. It's gonna go right in there. It will be awesome, and I can just stand under here and take my shower. And we've also run 110 volt cable that'll go from the inverter back here, and I'll have an extension cord that we can pull out for whatever I might need it for in the future. And we've done a really nice job here of protecting and insulating all of the wires. I'm very happy about that and how things are going there. This is the wiring diagram for the car. So what we're going to have is the main battery there connected through the VSR to this battery here. This is an 150 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. It's 275 amp hour units connected by two 100 amp safety plates in parallel, so I can draw up to 200 amps of power from this, which is more than enough for my 2000 watt inverter. That is connected to the solar power system. It'll have a 100 watt solar power, and the reason for that is just to give it a little bit of extra juice, and so that when we're out in the field, if we don't move the car, it'll keep it charged. Also, the inverter from the car only goes up to 14 watts. So when you use this system with the solar, which is a little bit higher voltage, it will raise the battery to 14.6. From the battery, it goes to a 12 volt relay system and a 2000 watt inverter. This is the solar controller for the solar panel, and also the fuse box for all of the different units, so that everything will be protected through its own fuse. And of course, a master switch to turn it on, all off, or all on. We have a lot of different 12 volt appliances and lights and things like that. So all of those will draw power directly from the battery and use less current. From the relay box, it'll have a bunch of different lines, each with its own fuse and own switch, which can have all of our different systems We have our DC outlet, water pump 1, water pump 2. That's for the drinking water and for the shower. We also have lights and more lights and even more lights. That means that we'll have some lights up here and we'll have some lights in here and also in the front. And speaking of up here, check out this new awning that we got. All you need to do is clip that in there and then turn it, and this whole thing comes out. It'll be 3 meters by 2.5 meters, and this will just save a lot of time when we're camping, because instead of having to get out and set up a tent, I just turn this, it goes right in and right out. This will keep it nice and snug so it doesn't shake around or accidentally open up while we're driving. So here we have something really interesting. These are the original runners from the car seats. If you remember all of the rust from the first video, well, actually it came from these runners. So what we did is we had to sand them down and put a coat of rust-resistant paint on it, and then we oiled them up a bit and put them back, and now they slide very nice. This rubber here was getting in the way, so I just cut that off, and it makes a huge difference. This connects into here. When this is down, this is locked into place and it can't move. When you pull it up a little bit, then the whole unit can slide. So there's one here and another one on the other side. What we need to do is custom build something that will use this spring to apply downward pressure, and then also have some kind of lever so we can lift it up about 1 centimeter and then pull everything along like that. And it has to be very, very precise because we're using 2 individual sliding units here, and it needs to be easy to lift up and pull forward, lock, and push back. It's going to be a lot of weight on it, so this is going to be one of the more difficult things that we need to engineer for this project. But we've been doing pretty good so far, so I have high hopes for being able to get this done. I just don't know how yet. Next week is when most of the parts arrive, so we're going to be installing many of the integral systems of the car, like the DVR system for the cameras and the physical benches and drawers and the kitchen that's going to be in here. We just ordered a ton of parts, and I really can't wait for them to arrive and we can get started on installing them. This project's really coming together. In the beginning, I was uncertain about how it would look, but now I'm much more hopeful and much more certain that it's going to come out in the way that I want it to. Thanks a lot. Click like and subscribe down at the bottom if you want to see more, and I'll see you next week. This episode was sponsored by Untitled Chapter. This episode was sponsored by these guys. I don't really know if they work or not. We still have mosquitoes on the balcony even when we burn these.